Your brain is lying to you. That voice in your head that speaks with your own accent, uses your own vocabulary, and feels so intimately familiar, is often your greatest enemy. It masquerades as protection while keeping you imprisoned. Think about it. How many times has your mind told you that you aren't enough, can't do something, or should play it safe? How often has it reminded you of past failures while conveniently forgetting your successes? Your mind is either your greatest ally or your most cunning adversary. The moment you woke up this morning, a battle began. While your eyes were still adjusting to the light, while you were reaching for your phone or stretching your arms, it had already started. Most of you didn't even notice it. But this battle determines everything about your day, your week, your entire life. This battle isn't fought with weapons you can hold in your hands. It's fought in the 6 inches between your ears. It's the battle for your mind. You see, life doesn't happen to you, it happens within you, in your mind. And that mind of yours is either working for you or against you right now. There is no neutral ground. Look at the person next to you and say, your mind is either your greatest asset or your greatest liability. Most people live their entire lives never realizing that they aren't their thoughts. They think they are their thoughts. They believe every suggestion, every emotion, every impulse that rises up in their consciousness. And that, my friends, is the greatest tragedy of human existence. Do you know why so many dreams die unrealized? Why so many goals remain unaccomplished? Why so many people settle for less than what they were created for? It's not because of a lack of resources. It's not because of a lack of opportunity. It's because their minds have become their masters instead of their servants. Here's a truth that might shake you. Your life is moving in the direction of your strongest thoughts. Whatever dominates your thinking dominates your life. Let me ask you a question. What was the first thing you thought about when you woke up this morning? Was it worry about bills? Was it dread about a difficult conversation? Was it excitement about your future? Was it gratitude for another day? Whatever it was. That thought set the trajectory for your entire day. Your mind is like soil. It doesn't care what kind of seeds you plant in it. It will grow whatever you feed it. Don't plant seeds of doubt, and you'll harvest insecurity. Don't plant seeds of fear, and you'll harvest paralysis. Plant seeds of possibility, and you'll harvest potential. Plant seeds of purpose, and you'll harvest fulfillment. But here's what no one tells you. Your mind has been programmed. Since the day you were born, your mind has been receiving information, instructions, and limitations. Some of these came from loving sources who wanted the best for you. Some came from wounded people who transferred their pain to you. Some came from a society that benefits from your conformity rather than your uniqueness. And you've accepted most of this programming without question. You've built your life around thoughts that were never yours to begin with. You've constructed your identity from materials you never chose. I was speaking with a young man recently. Brilliant, talented, full of potential. But he was stuck in a career he hated because, as he told me, this is what responsible people do. I asked him, who told you that? He couldn't answer. He had accepted a definition of responsibility that wasn't his. And it was costing him his joy, his purpose, his life. How many of you are living by definitions you never defined? How many of you are pursuing success as someone else described it? How many of you have accepted limitations that were handed to you by people who didn't know your capacity? Your mind is too valuable to be controlled by outdated programming. The ancient text says, as a person thinks in their heart, so they are. It didn't say, as a person's circumstances are. So they are. It didn't say, as a person's past is, so they are. It said, as they think, so they are. Let that sink in for a moment. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to believe about what happened to you. You are not your failures or your successes. You are what you choose to believe about those experiences. You are not what others say about you. You are what you choose to affirm about yourself. This is not positive thinking. This is not denying reality. This is claiming your power to interpret reality. This is recognizing that between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies your freedom and your power. Do you know what the richest place on earth is? It's not a diamond mine in Africa or an oil field in the Middle East. The richest place on earth is the cemetery. Because buried in those grounds are books never written, songs never sung, businesses never started, skills never discovered, and dreams never realized. All because someone allowed their mind to convince them that they couldn't, they shouldn't, or they weren't enough. Don't let that be your story. Your mind will try to protect you from pain. That's its job. But in protecting you from pain, it often prevents your growth. Your mind will choose comfort over challenge every time unless you instruct it otherwise. Your mind will choose the familiar over the unknown unless you train it to embrace uncertainty. I want you to try something with me. Close your eyes for a moment. Now, I want you to become aware of your thoughts. Don't try to change them. Just notice them passing through your consciousness like clouds passing through the sky. Now ask yourself, who is observing these thoughts? If you can observe your thoughts, then you cannot be your thoughts. You are the observer. You are the awareness behind the thoughts. And that awareness has the power to choose which thoughts to believe, which to act upon, and which to let pass by like clouds that have no substance. This is the beginning of freedom. This is the beginning of taking control of your mind before it takes control of you. Every successful person you admire has learned this lesson. They've learned that circumstances don't determine destiny, responses do. They've learned that failure isn't fatal, it's feedback. They've learned that obstacles aren't stop signs, they're guidelines. And most importantly, they've learned that their minds don't have to be governed by what's happening around them. They can be governed by what's living within them. Have you ever noticed how some people can face devastating circumstances and emerge stronger, while others are broken by the smallest setbacks? The difference isn't in the intensity of the circumstance. The difference is in the interpretation of the circumstance. There was a time when I faced what seemed like an insurmountable obstacle. Everything I had worked for appeared to be crumbling before my eyes. My natural response was panic, fear, and a sense of impending doom. But in that critical moment, I remembered this truth: my mind was creating this emergency, not the circumstance. So I stepped back. I took control of my thoughts. I asked better questions. Instead of, why is this happening to me? I asked, what is this teaching me? Instead of, how can I escape this? I asked, how can I grow through this? And those questions transformed not only my response, but the actual outcome of the situation. What questions are you asking about challenges? What story is your mind telling you about your life? Is it a story of victimhood or victory? Is it a story of limitation or possibility? Is it a story written by your fears or by your faith? Your brain processes about 60.000 thoughts per day. Most of these thoughts are repetitive. Most of these thoughts are negative. And most of these thoughts are unconscious. You're not even aware they're happening. Yet they're shaping your emotions, your decisions, and ultimately your destiny. It's time to become conscious. It's time to become intentional. It's time to take control of your mind before it takes control of you. In the coming moments, I'm going to share with you specific strategies to reprogram your mind for greatness. I'm going to show you how to identify toxic thought patterns and replace them with empowering ones. I'm going to teach you how to create mental environments that nurture your dreams rather than suffocate them. But before we go further, we need to understand a fundamental truth. Your mind operates according to laws. Just like gravity operates according to laws. You don't have to believe in gravity for it to work. Jump off a building and you'll experience its reality whether you acknowledge it or not. The same is true for the laws that govern your mind. The first law is this: whatever you focus on expands. Your focus determines your reality. Not in some mystical sense, but in a very practical way. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system. It's like a filter that brings to your attention whatever you've programmed it to notice. Have you ever decided to buy a certain car and suddenly started seeing that exact model everywhere? Those cars were always there. Your mind just wasn't tuned to notice them. When you change what you focus on, you change what you experience. Ask yourself, what am I focusing on most of the time? Is it what's wrong or what's right? Is it what's missing or what's present? Is it what you fear or what you desire? Because whatever it is, it's expanding in your life. The second law is your words create your world. The language you use programs your mind. When you say, I'm trying, your mind hears permission to fail. When you say, I can't afford it, your mind closes off creative solutions. When you say, that's just who I am, your mind cements a temporary state into a permanent identity. Watch your words. They're not just describing your reality, they're creating it. The most successful people understand that language isn't just expressive, it's creative. They speak of things that are not as though they were. Let me challenge you right now. Think of something you've been saying regularly that limits you. Maybe it's, I'm not good with money, or I always mess up relationships, or I'm too old to start something new. Whatever it is, I want you to create a new statement that empowers rather than limits you. Instead of, I'm not good with money, try, I'm learning to make wise financial decisions. Instead of, I always mess up relationships, try, I'm growing in my ability to build healthy connections. Instead of, I'm too old, try, my experience gives me an advantage. The third law governing your mind is what you rehearse. You become. Your mind doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual experience. Both create neural pathways. Both trigger emotional responses. Both shape your self-concept. Elite athletes use this principle all the time before they ever step onto the field or court. They've already won the game in their minds. They've rehearsed every move, every possible scenario, and programmed their minds for success. What are you rehearsing daily? Are you rehearsing worst case scenarios? Are you replaying past failures? Are you practicing limitation? Or are you rehearsing growth, success, and possibility? Your mind is always in a state of rehearsal. Make sure it's rehearsing what you want to become, not what you fear becoming. Now, let's get practical. How do you actually take control of your mind? The first step is awareness. You cannot change what you don't acknowledge. Begin to observe your thoughts without judgment. Become a witness to your own mental patterns. Notice when your mind slips into negativity, limitation, or fear. Most people never take this step. They're so identified with their thoughts that they don't realize they have the power to observe and evaluate them. But you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind your thoughts. The second step is interruption. Once you've identified a thought pattern that doesn't serve you, you must interrupt it. Break the pattern. One of the most powerful ways to do this is to ask questions. Questions direct your mind. If your mind is going down a negative path, ask a question that redirects it. Instead of, why does this always happen to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of, what if I fail? Ask, what if I succeed beyond my wildest dreams? Instead of, why bother? Ask, what if this is the moment everything changes? The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you consistently ask yourself. Poor questions create a poor mental environment. Powerful questions create a powerful mental environment. The third step is replacement. Nature abhors a vacuum. You cannot just remove negative thoughts, you must replace them with positive ones. But not just any positive thoughts, truthful ones. Your mind knows when you're lying to it. Affirmations that don't resonate with your deeper beliefs will be rejected. Start with what you can genuinely believe. Then stretch from there. If you can't believe I am wealthy, start with, I am learning principles of wealth creation. If you can't believe I am healthy, start with, I am making healthier choices each day. The fourth step is repetition. Rewiring your mind takes time. The neural pathways of limitation and fear were created through repetition, and they'll only be replaced through repetition. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. 5 minutes of purposeful mental programming each day will transform your mind more powerfully than 5 hours once a month. Your mind responds to consistency. It looks for patterns. When you consistently feed it empowering thoughts, it begins to expect them. Look for them and create them. The fifth step is embodiment. Your mind and body are connected. How you use your physical body affects your mental state. If you want to change how you think, change how you move, how you breathe, how you hold yourself. When you feel mentally defeated, notice your posture. Are your shoulders slumped? Is your breathing shallow? Is your face tense? Change your physiology, and you'll change your psychology. Stand tall, breathe deeply, move with purpose, smile. Your body will signal to your mind that you are not defeated, that you are powerful, that you are capable. These 5 steps: awareness, interruption, replacement, repetition, and embodiment form the foundation of mental mastery. They are the tools that will help you take control of your mind before it takes control of you. Remember this: your mind is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. When your mind controls you, it keeps you small, safe, and stuck. When you control your mind, it reveals your greatness, expands your possibilities, and propels you toward your purpose. The battle for your mind isn't just about positive thinking. It's about purposeful thinking. It's about intentional thinking. It's about taking the incredible power of your consciousness and directing it toward what matters most to you. Now let's address something vital. Your mind is constantly being influenced. In this age of infinite information, your most precious resource isn't time or money, it's your attention. and everyone wants a piece of it. The average person is exposed to thousands of advertisements daily. Add to that social media news cycles and the opinions of others. All of these inputs are competing for control of your mind. Have you ever noticed how you feel after scrolling through social media for an hour? Have you paid attention to your mental state after watching the news? These external influences shape your internal landscape more than you realize. You must become intentional about what you allow into your mind. Protect your mental space with the same vigilance you would protect your home. You wouldn't allow just anyone to walk into your house and rearrange your furniture. Why would you allow just any thought to enter your mind and rearrange your destiny? A woman shared with me how her life transformed when she made one simple decision: to begin each day with gratitude instead of reaching for her phone. For years, she had started her mornings by immediately checking emails, news, and social media. And for years, she battled anxiety and overwhelm. When she decided to reclaim the first hour of her day to feed her mind with gratitude, purpose, and possibility before allowing the world to feed it with demands, disasters and distractions, everything changed. Her productivity increased. Her relationships improved. Her peace deepened. What's the first thing feeding your mind each day? Who are the voices influencing your thoughts? What are the images programming your expectations? These aren't small questions. They're determining the direction of your life. Another critical truth about your mind: it doesn't recognize the difference between real and imagined threats. Your body responds to the thoughts in your head as if they were happening in reality. When you worry about a future event, your body releases the same stress hormones as if that event were occurring right now. This is why worry is so destructive. It's not just unpleasant. It's using your mind's creative power to manifest what you don't want. It's rehearsing failure in advance. It's experiencing problems that may never happen. Ask yourself, how much of my mental energy is spent solving problems that don't yet exist? How often am I using my imagination to create detailed scenarios of what might go wrong instead of what might go right? Your imagination is one of your most powerful tools. Use it to create solutions, not to magnify problems. Use it to envision possibilities, not to visualize disasters. Use it to design your future, not to fear it. Here's a practice that has transformed countless lives: future self-visualization. Take 5 minutes each day to close your eyes and see yourself 5 years from now having achieved your most important goals. How do you carry yourself? How do you speak? How do you treat others? How do you handle challenges? When you consistently connect with this future version of yourself, your current self begins to think, feel, and act in alignment with that vision. Your mind starts to create a bridge between who you are and who you are becoming. Remember, your mind doesn't just record reality, it creates reality. It's not just taking pictures of what is, it's painting pictures of what could be. Make sure you're the one holding the brush, not your fears, not your past, and certainly not the opinions of others. Control your mind, or it will control you. Direct your focus, or something else will. Choose your thoughts, or someone else will choose them for you. Program your mind intentionally, or it will be programmed incidentally by whatever has the loudest voice or the flashiest display. Your freedom begins and ends in your mind. No one can imprison a mind that refuses to be contained by limitation. No circumstance can defeat a mind that insists on finding opportunities within obstacles. One of the greatest threats to your mental mastery is comparison. We live in a world that constantly invites you to compare your behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. And this comparison robs you of your unique purpose. Your mind was not designed to fulfill someone else's destiny. It was designed to fulfill yours. When you fill it with images of other people's journeys, you dilute its power to create your own. Let me be clear, there is no one else on earth with your exact combination of gifts, experiences, passions, and perspective. Your unique mental fingerprint is needed in this world. But you'll never offer that gift if you're busy trying to think like someone else, live like someone else, or succeed like someone else. True mental freedom comes when you release the need to be validated by comparison and embrace the call to be activated by purpose. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful forces affecting your mind, your environment. You are constantly absorbing the energies, beliefs, and expectations of those around you, often without realizing it. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Their collective mindset is shaping yours. Their conversations are programming your internal dialogue. Their limitations may be becoming your limitations. This isn't about judging others or abandoning relationships. It's about being intentional about who has access to your mental space. It's about recognizing that some people belong in your heart, but not necessarily in your ear. Ask yourself, who speaks into my life? Do they call me higher or keep me comfortable? Do they reinforce my limitations or challenge me to break through them? Do they speak to my potential or to my past? You need people in your life who refuse to let you think small. You need voices that call out greatness in you, especially when you can't see it in yourself. You need mental environments that nurture your growth, not just comfort your insecurities. And sometimes you need to be that person for yourself when no one else is available. This is why developing your internal dialogue is so crucial. The most important conversations you'll ever have are the ones you have with yourself. The voice in your head shapes your reality more than any external voice ever will. Is your internal dialogue kind or cruel? Is it empowering or defeating? Is it truthful or distorted? Most importantly, is it yours, or have you internalized the voices of critics, or wounded people from your past? Many of us walk around with mental soundtracks we didn't choose and wouldn't choose if we were conscious of them. We repeat phrases like, "You're not good enough," or "Who do you think you are?" Or "You'll never change," without realizing these aren't our authentic thoughts. They're recordings we've internalized from others. It's time to create a new soundtrack. It's time to speak to yourself with the wisdom, passion, and conviction you'd offer to someone you deeply love and believe in. Because that's exactly who you are, someone worthy of love and belief. Here's a practice that can transform your internal dialogue. Become your own compassionate coach. When you face a challenge or make a mistake, ask yourself, what would I say to my best friend or my child in this situation? Then offer yourself that same grace, the same perspective, that same encouragement. You don't have to believe every thought that crosses your mind. You get to examine them, challenge them, and choose which ones deserve your energy and which ones deserve to be released. Your mind is also profoundly affected by your sense of purpose. When you know why you're here, when you connect with a mission larger than your comfort or convenience, your mind finds resources you didn't know you had. I've seen people endure unimaginable hardships with remarkable resilience because they were driven by purpose. I've seen others crumble under minor setbacks because they lack that same sense of meaning. Purpose gives your mind context for suffering. It helps you interpret obstacles not as punishments, but as development opportunities. It transforms, "Why is this happening to me?" into "How is this preparing me?" Ask yourself, what gets me out of bed in the morning? What would I do even if I never got paid for it? What problem am I uniquely positioned to solve? What contribution am I designed to make? These questions point to your purpose. And when your mind is aligned with your purpose, it becomes exponentially more powerful. It finds energy when you're exhausted. It finds solutions when you're stuck. It finds courage when you're afraid. Your mind thrives when it serves something greater than itself. Give it that gift. Connect it to purpose as we bring this journey to a close. I want to address something fundamental, the resistance you will face when you decide to take control of your mind. Make no mistake, when you begin to reprogram your thinking, every force of habit within you will fight back. Your old thought patterns will not go quietly. They will scream for attention. They will disguise themselves as wisdom. They will recruit allies from your environment who benefit from you staying exactly as you are. This resistance isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're doing something revolutionary. It's evidence that real change is taking place. The battle for your mind isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. It's a moment-by-moment choice. Some days you'll find it easier than others. Some seasons will test your commitment more intensely than others. But every single time you choose to direct your thoughts rather than be directed by them, you strengthen your mental muscles. And here's the beautiful truth. The more you practice mental mastery, the more natural it becomes. What begins as conscious effort eventually becomes unconscious excellence. What starts as discipline ultimately transforms into delight. I've seen people transform their lives completely by applying these principles consistently. I've witnessed depression turn to joy, scarcity turn to abundance, conflict turn to peace, and meaninglessness turn to purpose, all through the revolutionary act of taking control of the mind. You have that same power within you right now. Not tomorrow when circumstances improve. Not next week when you have more time. Not next month when you feel more confident. Right now, in this moment, you can begin to direct your mind toward what you want rather than what you fear. Your past does not define your future unless you continue to think the thoughts that created your past. Your circumstances do not determine your destiny unless you think thoughts that make you a prisoner of those circumstances. You are not a helpless victim of your mental patterns. You are the architect of your experience. You are the director of your focus. You are the chooser of your thoughts. When you truly understand this power, everything changes. Not because the world around you suddenly transforms, but because your interpretation of that world transforms. And that, my friends, is the ultimate freedom. So I challenge you, begin today. Start now. Take control of your mind before it takes control of you. Question your limiting beliefs. Redirect your negative thoughts. Fill your mental space with visions of possibility rather than fears of inadequacy. Your mind is waiting for your instructions. What will you tell it to focus on? What will you train it to believe? What will you program it to create? The quality of your answers will determine the quality of your life. Choose wisely. Choose courageously. And choose today to control your mind. Or it will control you. The choice has always been yours.